If you ever wondered whether or not I was a little bit odd, this should answer your question. Hello, my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to the Christmas in July reading vlog. That's right, we're going kitsch in the middle of the year. Now, I did not just decide out of nowhere to do this. It's actually a little bit of a story behind it. Basically, I discovered through an indie author friend of mine that there is an entire indie readathon. Now, I do already participate in December, but that's not necessarily like a standard readathon. This is like a booktubers are doing it. There are teams, there are hosts, all of that jazz. So obviously, despite the fact that it was already a weekend, despite the fact that I just finished another readathon that I kind of got burnt out by, I had to join because indie books. And of course, because it is a fairly typical booktube readathon, aside from being indie books, there's a bingo board, there are teams, and there's a host fave prompt. Now, if you watched my video on why I have a love-hate relationships with readathons, link down below, you'll know that host fave is one of my least favorite prompts of all time because I hate being given a very short list of books that I have to pick from when my TBR is always gigantic. But this is a readathon where all the hosts are booktubers that prioritize indie books. So I want them to like me. So I looked through the books and it was so much like thick boy high fantasies, which on one hand is not a bad thing. The problem is that I had already kind of overloaded my TBR with review books that were all over 500 pages. So I was like, crap, I gotta find something a little bit lighter to not overwhelm myself. And thankfully, there was a Christmas romance among the host faves. Earl Grey Books added Lovelight Farms by BK Borison to her faves picks. And I'm like, okay, that's like the lightest thing on here. We're going to go with it. But then I was like, if I'm doing this though, I'm doing this. So we are going to do a mini Christmas in July reading vlog. Now, I can't actually do all that much in the way of Christmas stuff because the temperatures have been at about high 80s, low 90s lately. So wearing anything of a certain kind is gonna kill me. And I might maybe listen to some Christmas music just for fun. I have a pretty good playlist that I cultivate. And maybe like if the AC is on high enough and it's late enough at night that it's cool enough, maybe I'll drink some hot chocolate. But also, I have other stuff going on this weekend, so I don't think there's too much Christmassy about donating blood and going to a wrestling show. But you know, we'll make it work. Maybe I'll try to wear some red and green all weekend. But also, to make sure it's a little bit extra Christmassy, I'm going to be putting links, or rather videos, in between some of the clips to show you my Christmas elf character that I play on TikTok called Mint. Because dressing up as a fictional character on the internet and pretending to be a Christmas elf are totally normal things for a nearly 30-year-old woman to do. Don't worry about it. But that should hopefully add some more Christmas cheer. But we should probably actually talk about what this book is about. Lovelight Farms by BK Borison is a Christmas rom-com all about a young woman named Stella who decides to buy the titular Lovelight Farms because she loved going to it as a child. It is a Christmas farm named after that one line from I'll Be Home for Christmas. Christmas Eve will find me where the lovelight gleams. But it's looking rough. It's probably going to fail unless she does something quick. So she decides to enter this sweepstakes that an influencer of all people is doing. But she had to kind of, you know, make her entry look a little bit more romantic. So she says that she and her boyfriend run it together. Just one problem, she doesn't have a boyfriend. So she begs her best friend Luca to pretend to be her boyfriend to win the sweepstakes and save the farms. So yes, we have some fake dating and some friends to lovers, which fake dating I can kind of take or leave, but I am loving friends to lovers. And I also love Christmas books. Honestly, I really should get to reading them more, but you know, when December comes, I just get so loaded down with so many other books. Regardless, I am expecting this to be very cute. It is about 330 pages as far as I can tell, and I need to read this over the course of 2 days. So I am going to read, give or take, about 160 to 170 pages a day. Not that hard for me. Thankfully, because it's an ebook, I can read it on my phone while I go to all the variety of places that I need to go. But in general, I really hope this is cute and sweet, because the last book that I read was 600 pages and very heavy. So I kind of need the reset. But it is currently Friday night as I am filming this, and I will check in with you again Saturday morning.
I never felt so much like Christmas in all my life. Don't you, Sherry, dear?
Shut your nasty little face!
I'd wait outside in a blizzard, sit with Jack Frost till I shiver, shovel mountains of snow.
So, we are dressed in red and green. We went to the farmer's market and to donate blood. I even asked for the wrap to be the matching green so that we could stick with the theme. And I did listen to Christmas music when I drove to the blood donation. I'm not feeling it as much as I wish I was, usually because my Christmas music brain doesn't turn on until September. Right now, I'm still in the middle of my Ren Fair season, so I want the Ren Fair Celtic music. Maybe I'll find some Celtic Christmas songs. But regardless, while I was waiting and the little refreshment center that you're supposed to stick around in for 10 minutes after your donation, I decided to start reading, and I loved what I was reading, so the minute I got home, I went back to it. And it really sets up why Stella and Luca haven't, done anything about their obvious feelings yet. Stella has a ton of abandonment issues. Her father left her to create a new family, and she only sees him once a year, and it's always awkward and bad, and her mother died, and she hangs out a lot with Luca's family because Luca's family lives in the same town as her, but he doesn't. He lives out of town. So it really sets up this. It's already long distance, and she stands to lose a ton if it goes wrong because she does not want to lose this kind of secondary family she's found for herself, even though the feelings are just there. It's so obvious. It's done a great job, even in the first 30 pages, of painting the picture of the kind of relationship they have and the ease they have around each other and how deeply they know each other, but also why Stella thinks that this is just going to be it. And she does the whole, well, it's been 10 years. If something was going to happen, wouldn't have already happened by now. And you can already see that Luca was very upset that, basically that she was not her first choice. And I'm really hoping for one of those explosive arguments when the feelings come out in the heat of anger. Those are one of my favorite scenes. The only thing I wish is the thing that I wish for all romance books, which is, well, one more queer rep, but honestly, Luca low-key gave me some bi vibes early on with a low-key obsession with Jeff Goldblum. I don't know. But regardless, the thing that I always want in romance novels is I always want to see both or all points of views. I want to see what Luca thinks about all this. I want the mutual pining of both sides pining for the other, but thinking it's never going to happen. I don't think we're going to get that. Maybe. I'm fingers crossed. I want the mutual pining so bad. But it will definitely be a breeze to get the amount of pages read I need today. I'm actually going to take a break for lunch and chilling out. And then I basically have almost the entire afternoon to myself before we go for the pro wrestling thing. So probably can get it finished before we go there, at least the pages for today. But I am looking forward to more angst and pining and Christmas goodness and the classic, this local mom and pop business is failing, but the magic of the holidays will save it. It's going to be fun.
Soldier Boy tough.
All right, I've read a little more. I'm currently around the 110 page mark, and I I really want Luca's point of view. I don't think we're going to get it because we've already gotten this far in. And it's written in that kind of way where it's like painfully obvious to the reader how Luca is feeling, because anytime she makes references to the fact that it's pretend or whatever, he like tenses up. And then like there's a moment where she's like, what are we going to do after? Like everyone in town is going to think we're dating. And he goes, well, we can just continue the way we were. And if like someone asks, we can tell them. But I'm like, this dude is full on angling to already turn this fake relationship real. Like he's got a plan. He's got like long-term goals. I appreciate that. But it is in the, oh my gosh, woman, how can you not understand what he's looking for? And then you find out that he has invited her to Thanksgiving with his family every year in the 10 years that they've been friends. And every year she says no because it doesn't feel like her Thanksgiving. It doesn't feel like one she deserves. And it's, ugh, I was not expecting this level of emotional angst in this Christmas rom-com, but I'm really enjoying it. It's looking like a 5-star right now. It's actually not like that as super Christmassy as I was expecting, only because for the most part it like starts in late October and is like gearing up. So my guess is that like our final scene or the epilogue or something is going to actually happen around Christmas. Because even right now they're not even to the formal Thanksgiving yet, and we're like a third of the way through. So if you're someone that maybe doesn't super duper like ultra holidayness, this might be a good book to pick, because a lot of it is like gearing up and doing a lot of like farm stuff. So definitely check it out if you want something that's only kind of Christmassy, which also works because I'm reading it in very much not the Christmas times. But I'm going to take another break. Should I do the dishes? Probably. Will I? Regardless, I will check in with you when I have probably hit the halfway mark for today. Okay, so I've officially reached the halfway mark, and it's going to be so easy to finish the other half tomorrow. I am loving this so much. And there are queer side characters. You actually find out that the sheriff has like a thing for the owner of the pizza place, and it's adorable. And there's another like married lesbian or at least sapphic couple in the town. So we have some queer inclusion. I'll take that in lieu of Luca being a bi-con, although I'm still holding out hope for that. Regardless, it's so cute. We have reached the, we could like trial run dating maybe, just to see, like, it's so obvious that Luca is like already 100% there and he's just doing it because of Stella's abandonment issues, and like it's even sweeter that way. And now there are adorable kittens in the picture, with this stoic farmer suddenly falling head over heels for this mama cat and her kittens. Now this is a series, so I'm pretty sure that he's probably going to be a protagonist of a future book, and I already want it. Like, oh, this is just hitting the spot right now. I'm so happy. But now it is time to leave for the drive-in movie theater, where we will be having a pro wrestling show. And fun fact, I've worked with this pro wrestling promotion for several years now, and I actually came up with the name for this show, although it's not going to make sense if you don't know wrestling in-jokes, but the name of the show is It's Still Real to Me, real spelled R-E-E-L, because drive-in theater. I'm really proud of myself for that one. And I will include some clips of it in here, because obviously, but it's a good book. I'm going to finish it tomorrow, definitely. And I need to look into the rest of this series. Maybe come December? Maybe come August. I don't know, but I will check in with you in a little bit.
'Tis the season to beat you up. Fa la 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 la, come catch these hands. Okay, see, that is not Christmas spirit.
A pretty red ribbons, give you the best gift you've been given, fill my stocking with coal.
Good morning. It is Sunday. We had a little bit of a late night, and so we're having a little bit of a late morning. And we're going to go do our usual Sunday routine, or at least most of it, grabbing brunch and coffee. And we usually would go thrift store shopping, but we're going on a giant trip later, so I'll save that for then. So we're going to go do that, and then at some point I will start reading, and I'm actually really excited, and I wouldn't be surprised if I just started reading and kept reading and finished the book in one sitting. I'll try to stop to check in, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Jack Frost roasting on an open fire. Don't you mean chestnuts? Oh, I know what I said.
So it turns out that if you donate blood while on your Shark Week, and then skip lunch, and then stay out late, all while not drinking all the healthy fluids you're supposed to, your body will eventually show you how unhappy it is with you. I was fine-ish this morning, maybe not that hungry, and then around like noon, headache and nausea, and my body's like, we're done, we're going to bed. So, here I am. Thankfully, I have this nifty little trick of propping up my tablet, but also leaving it sideways so that I can keep reading while laying on your left side, because left side is the one that alleviates nausea. So I have really been enjoying the new twists and turns. There's kind of a new conflict coming to the forefront where they realize that someone's trying to sabotage the farm, but they don't know why. And also, the influencer character has actually showed up, and there was like a reveal of who she is to someone else. And I really, really liked that they actually made the influencer character a likable character. It wasn't a whole, oh, look, the Instagram influencer is so shallow and whatever. Like, no, she's actually nice. And I really liked that. And I can definitely see where the series would go moving forward. I think you're going to see each of the three kind of main owners of the farm each get their little romance. And I can already see, I'm pretty sure you can tell which one each of them are going to end up with, but it should be cute. I'm still particularly interested in Beckett's story, but my guess is now that things are moving on and getting steamy, there has not been a full sex scene yet, but there's been enough of graphic scenes that I am absolutely sure that the full sex scene will be coming down the line, which I like it, you know, add some spice to the holiday romance. And also, I don't feel bad laying in bed reading this because, you know what? Curling up with the blanket while in bed, feels holiday-y. Might have to take off the kerchief, though, because this might be contributing to my headache. Regardless, I hope that I can come back to you in slightly better health, at least. I don't want to end this vlog in bed. Maybe I'll make some, like, tea or something. Maybe that would sound good. But I will continue reading and check in with you, hopefully before it's finished. But I don't know, it's really hard to stop reading.
I've accelerated my brainwaves. I'm not any smarter, I'm just dumb. Faster! Ow!
Alright, I think this is the last check-in before the end, and I had to force myself to stop because I would have just kept reading. I am feeling a little bit better. My husband brought me applesauce, so now I have food in my stomach. But this did one of my favorite fake dating tropes, which is the person they're pretending for asks something about the relationship, and they actually both respond honestly with things the other person didn't know. So it's like this cute little revelation while pretending moment. And then we did get the sex scene that I was expecting, but it did that really weird thing that some romance books do where they like have a sex scene but they don't actually want to use the name of any anatomical parts. But it gets really awkward because it's purposefully trying to be so vague that in some cases you actually have to reread to make sure, like, oh no, wait, has the sex actually started yet? Because the words and the terminology are so weirdly described to avoid having to say anything direct. And at this point, it's like, just say the direct words. Like, seriously, that'd be less weird. But I'm gonna keep hanging out in bed for a little bit. It is helping. I'm also hoping that I don't have to make dinner tonight. And I will check in with you probably for like the final wrap up and everything. But unless something drastically changes in the last 40 pages, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 5-star. So it only took me a couple hours of misery to figure out what crucial piece of self-care I'd missed. Usually I take a multivitamin, but on blood donation days, a couple days before and after, I take a pure iron supplement because donating takes your iron down. I'd forgotten to even take the multivitamin around the donation, and I realized as I was thinking about, wow, it's a good thing my iron was just barely high enough to donate the other day, that I'm like, I think that's the problem. So I took the supplement, took a nap, and I'm not feeling like 100% right now, but just so much better. So, gotta remember the basic self-care. But let's jump into what were my final thoughts on the book. This book came this close to losing a star in the last 30 pages. Now, I'll admit, I am a stickler for endings. In my brain, regardless of how big or small the book is, the ending represents whether or not you get that final 5th star, because it needs to be the culmination of everything that's come before. But here's the thing. I thought that this book was going to have fairly smooth sailing, because again, like 30 pages left when I came across the problem. But then, they did the thing. They did the sudden miscommunication leads to an almost breakup, and so here's my issue with this trope, and I get that a lot of people complain about it, but my specific issue is the romance books that use it tend to treat it as like here's the miscommunication, and because of inherent issues in the relationship, it leads to a breakup, or not a break, or some kind of tense, it looks like the relationship is done moment, right? And then by solving the miscommunication, they've solved the relationship, but that's not true. The miscommunication just revealed the deep issues in the relationship that need to be solved. The fact that a single miscommunication led to that means the relationship was already on rocky ground to begin with, and it can't be solved quickly. And the only reason that this book managed to avoid losing a star for me was because, one, the protagonist is already led up to be an idiot as the result of purposefully blinding herself to the most obvious things ever. And someone else like basically yells at her for it, basically tells her, this is on you. This wasn't just miscommunication. Like, you need to work on things. And also, the gist that I got from the very end was, the comments that you actually hear Luca say, because you get Luca's point of view, is let's just continue. Not necessarily we have arrived sentiment, not necessarily engagement in a baby, like a lot of romances like to end with, but a kind of, they've established things and they've accepted that her issues with abandonment are going to continue to be issues and they're going to have to work through it. So it wasn't the perfect, we've solved the miscommunication, therefore it's fine. I would have liked to seen a little bit more space done because, again, last 30 pages, the giant argument miscommunication to wrapping it up was so quick. And it's like, I needed like her to step in, like have a mentor character step in and explain some things to her so that she understands why it went wrong, like that kind of stuff. But I love getting to see from both points of view. So I loved that we got Luca's POV in the epilogue, and the next book in the series is Beckett's, and he was one of my favorite characters. And I also like second chance romances, so I'm probably going to continue. And then apparently one of the other characters, Layla, who was the other character I assumed was getting a story, her book is supposed to be coming out this year. So I might see if I can't read all 3 of these books before December. Therefore, I can add them to like a list of books to talk about for a video in December, because I don't like having to wait to read the holiday books in the month. But then also you lose out on time to have videos about those books in the month until like way late in the month. So it's like, do I have to read them one year and then wait a whole other year to talk about them then? It's a whole thing. Regardless, I really did enjoy this. Obviously, I did not like being in bed feeling gross for hours today, but I like getting another book read. Ironically, I got 5 books of my 9-book TBR for the readathon done, and I still don't have any bingos. I have the bingo board over halfway filled and no bingos. I don't know how I managed that. But I'm really happy that I found a host fave pick that I actually liked, that it didn't feel like a chore to read. I still don't like the concept of host faves in general. In fact, I require more hosts to put kitschy holiday books on their fave lists. I'm tired of all these super heavy books. Can someone please just love kitschy romances? Regardless, thank you so much for watching. If you've ever done anything Christmas in July, let me know. I'd be interested to hear about it. I've never actually been to summer camp, so I never had the Christmas in July summer camp experience, but I would like to know about that as well if someone has done that. Regardless, thank you so much, Ellie, for picking a great book for one of your host faves, because I am genuinely going to continue this series, and love that for me. Anyway, with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.
All my troubles